Today we're going to go visit the Ozark Botanical Garden down in Fayetteville. We're going to go check them out. Last time we were there, last year, we weren't able to go till around like July. So we didn't really see a whole bunch of flowers. So we were excited to go down there this spring and be able to see all the beautiful spring flowers that they have. If you're not familiar, the Ozark Botanical Garden is a really awesome place. They have a ton of native plants native to the Ozark region. We're pretty excited to go down there. So let's go down and see what they have for us. And as soon as we drove in, I was pretty amazed at the amount of color that they had right at their entrance. They had planted a whole bunch of annual flowers. It looked like pretty recently, all along the entrance, so it was a beautiful bright display of color as soon as we drove up. The people inside the ticket booth were very friendly, and we were able to walk straight in the gate after we got our tickets. And their space was really beautiful. There's a center lawn area where all the gardens go around. And each area is a different themed garden, and they have things from Japanese garden to bioswales and to a butterfly house. And so it was a really cool area, and we were blown away by the amount of flowers and colors that you could see as soon as you walk through the gates. And here in the Ozarks, it's such an interesting place for native plants here because there's a lot of biodiversity right where we live. We're kind of the midway point between the Appalachians in the east and the Rockies in the west. So there's a lot of cool species that we have. And so it's really cool to see some of those here at the gardens. One of the first native plants we saw on our way by the gate was these beautiful Solomon seals. Really beautiful colors on them with their variegated leaves. They also had this really cool variety of, I believe a poppy species, but I wasn't too sure. So if you know what variety of flower this is, let me know down in the comments. Alright, when you walked in, they have this beautiful stream running down the path. And that's going to be a common theme we found throughout the garden as we explored. There's a lot of beautiful streams and nooks. And also they could be due from the recent rainfall we've had over the last week or two. But it was beautiful hearing the sounds of the rippling water as we walked around the park. And we also saw this cute little frog on the lily pad on our way down. And we ran into one of my favorite ground covers that I learned about in school was candy tuft. And so I was happy to find some here in their gardens. And we were lucky to find it while it was blooming this spring. Among some of the annuals that they had one of my favorite annuals, Floss flower. And man, these things look so good in that shade under this tree. That enchanting blue-purple color that they have is one of my favorite colors. They just really almost glow in the shade. One of my favorite annuals for annual design. And even though we were almost in May, there were still a few tulips blooming, which was quite a surprise to us. So we were quite amazed with all these beautiful bulbs and beautiful annuals that were blooming at the same time. They also had these beautiful purple alliums that were blooming. They had several of these clustered around along the path, and these are definitely one of my favorite bulbs. The alliums are just very interesting to look at. They just add that really quite a fun and delightful plant to add to any space. Definitely one of my all-time favorites. And while we were walking down the path, they had these beautiful false indigos, including this yellow one, which was really cool. I couldn't find a name tag for it, so if you know what variety of false indigo this is, could you let me know? Man, these yellow flowers were looking so good. And as we were leaving these beautiful yellow indigos, off to our left, we saw this beautiful Carolina wren that was sunbasking on this rock. And man, wrens are one of my favorite species. I love how their tail goes straight up as they forage around. And their songs in the spring are always so beautiful to listen to in the woods. They also have some beautiful varieties of native honeysuckle that we were able to spot, as well as this beautiful American wisteria, which is a great alternative for those of you that use the Asian wisterias. The Asian varieties are invasive to the state of Arkansas, so the American wisteria is a really good one. Their flowers aren't quite as long as you can see in the video, but they're still beautiful. They almost look like grapes to me when you look at them from afar, but one of my favorite vines. Another one of our favorite flowers are irises, and we were lucky we were able to get kind of towards the tail end of their season here while we were visiting. I was able to record these beautiful blue irises, but they had all sorts of colors from white to peach to yellow. Irises are one of our favorite spring flowers, and they create a beautiful color in the spring. I was also to spot our first monarch butterfly, at least for me, this season. It was collecting some nectar on these beautiful phlox, I believe. And I always enjoy seeing these monarchs come out. A lot of milkweed that they had was already starting to come up and getting ready to flower soon. So that'll be something to look forward to in the next few months as those monarchs start to lay their eggs. When I used to work at Crystal Bridges, we would get a lot of monarchs. We had a whole butterfly garden down by the south entrance of the museum. And we had several different types of milkweed, from swamp milkweed to common milkweed and butterfly weed. And seeing all those monarch caterpillars come and eat those up towards the end of the summer was really cool to see. And be able to see all the monarchs come out in the fall as they head down to Mexico in the winter. Really cool butterfly species. Definitely one that we need to protect by planting milkweed. So if you ever want to help a native species, planting milkweed's a really good one to plant for monarchs. On our way to the children's garden, we saw this beautiful wave of phlox that were blooming, all different colors of pinks and purples. And man, it was just beautiful. It was awesome to see all these beautiful flowers, annuals and native flowers all blooming together at the same time. Definitely a great way to show how native plants can be integrated in beautiful flower designs. The Japanese garden was also very beautiful. It's a very small section, but they have this wooden torii gate that you walk through and a beautiful another stream that cuts through it. And it was mostly evergreen plants, but it was really cool. They had a couple bonsai and pots along the trail as well, which was pretty cool. There was a section along the wall by the torii gate of this climbing hydrangea. So I want to come back here maybe in a few months to see if it blooms or not. But I've always wanted to see one in person, so this is the first one I've seen in person. So let me know if you've ever grown those and if they grow well for you. On our way out, I spotted another one of my favorite annuals, which is Lobelia. And again, you can kind of see a theme here. Some of my favorite annuals have that enchanting blue color to them. And so I really love these guys. I used to plant them up in Rexburg when I went to BYU, Idaho. We would help design and plant at the Thomas E. Ricks Gardens there at the school, and Lobelia is one of the ones we used a lot because it does really well up there in the summer. Definitely miss those Idaho summers compared to here in Arkansas where the summers are quite hot. But overall, I was really amazed with the beauty of the Ozark Botanical Garden. They had a lot more things blooming than they did last time I was there last summer. Definitely a beautiful place to stop and visit if you're ever in the Northwest Arkansas region. It's a beautiful garden space. I know they also work as a venue doing several events throughout the year for the community. And they do a lot of promoting for native plants. And they also provide a garden space for the community. So a lot of awesome things going on there. A beautiful place. Definitely highly recommend to go visit. Thank you for watching this episode. And let me know how you like this garden tour in the comments. And if you want me to go visit more places, comment down below some of the places you think I should go visit and to do a video on. And with that, that's going to be the end of this video. If you like this video, feel free to watch another one. That helps the algorithm promote my channel. Feel free to subscribe so you can be notified of future videos. For right now, I post a video every Saturday. So until then, hope you all have a wonderful time and happy planting.